Welcome to another gorgeous day. It is sunny here, and I am with my main man, Brad, and it is sunny, and I finally know where he is. Forever, I thought he was constantly vacation. Every time I was on vacation, I'm like, Brad's on vacation too. This is so awesome. No, he lives there. You know, this is the scariness of Danny Rocco. But welcome to another dose of Did You Know, where inspiring, intriguing, unique individuals come to talk, yes, love, Brad, and life, and how it got us here today. How are you?
Thanks for having me, Danny. This is awesome. I appreciate the intro and the time being on here. I will say I'm still active duty Navy, and anything I say on here is just my opinion, not that of the government. So just put that out to start off with.
The asterisks, the fine print, all of that good stuff, boom, it is there. So this is just Brad. This is Brad and Danny talking. But before we get going, tell us a little bit about who Brad is. Besides a man that does not be on vacation every weekend. That is something I made up about you.
I'm currently a commercial real estate investor, focusing on large apartment complexes with an investment team. And then on the side from that, I'm an active duty lieutenant commander in explosive ordnance disposal. I've done 5 counter-terrorism deployments around the world, working with all kinds of special forces units. Been very fortunate to have 2 deployments to Afghanistan. One of them was on the TV show Patrol Afghanistan. They did 16 episodes of that. So not only did I have to get myself and my team back, I had to get about 10 civilians back and unharmed. So that was a great experience. Done several other deployments to the Persian Gulf and got to do an amazing deployment down around South America before the 2016 Olympics, working with the Chilean Special Forces and Brazilian Special Forces. Then on the side, I dabble in banjo playing and as much adventure stuff as I can with my pug Howwanda, and we're getting ready to relocate to San Diego, California.
Yeah. I love how you're like, and my side gig is la 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 la. Like, I think most people would have flip-flopped that, but this is who Brad is. He's a layered man, and he likes long walks on the beach and beautiful women. I'm just putting that out there.
Fast-paced walks on the beach, more like runs, and then any skydiving dates. I'm absolutely up for that. Any kind of adventure dates. I told women that I was done taking them out to dinner. Granted, if you want to go kayaking, downhill mountain biking, skydiving, scuba diving, sailing, surfing, any of those events, and then get food after, totally down for that. But you gotta pass that crucible, because that's just the lifestyle that my dog Wanda and I live, and try to just live happy, healthy, very moderate Spartan lifestyles, where we can focus mainly on serving other people. That's really my passion. Both for commercial real estate and through my continued naval service. It's all just finding ways to get back, because that's what makes me happy, and that's what drives me and gets me out of bed every morning.
Oh, I love that. And if you follow him at all on social media, you kind of get that sense. But like, step back a minute. How did Wanda get the name Wanda? I mean, that is
Wanda's been with me this year. I was looking for a dog. I was getting ready to go on an ice diving course in Canada. So I wasn't looking for a dog until I came back from that, but a friend sent me a link and was like, "This is your dog." And I looked at her, and it absolutely is exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for a puggle, half pug, half beagle, and they're super hard to find. Inside, they love on you. They just cuddle you like crazy. Outside, they're just chasing balls and squirrels and super athletic. And I was like, that's kind of my kind of dog. So the exact culture. And then we got her, and she was from a foster home already. So her name was Wanda as I was going up there, and I was going up with a friend, and I was like, I don't know that I like this name, Wanda. We were thinking about other names like Gracie for jujitsu that I was doing, and some other names and we get there, and I look at her, and she's a Wanda, and like, she's got this old kind of grumpy face. And the lady said, after she got the dog, the first person that texted her was Wanda Johnston. And then, so ever since, she's been Wonder Wanda.
You know, not for anybody out there that's named Wanda, I apologize for what I think of, but I think of this like big, robust kind of like country woman. That is what I think of when I think of Wanda. So I can see a pug representing that face completely well. So sorry, Wanda's out there, but that's what comes to my mind. So Brad and I met through the 1 Mile Leadership Project. You're on the team with me. What kind of got you into that? And I see Farah's out there watching. She's one of our she's also on the secret team. I want to make it more like special ops because I have none of that cool stuff like you guys do. It's just like me, Danny Rocco. I have no idea why I'm on there besides my I don't know, craziness.
Superhuman personality skills. That works.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I will go with that. But what brought you there? Like, how did you end up in that cool world of the 1 Mile Leadership Project?
Mike Campbell approached me, through Facebook and basically said, hey, you'd be a good fit for this. And we set up a call. And beforehand, I was just kind of looking into what 1 Mile is. And the big project they had going on was a ride across America. And it was benefiting two great foundations and charities. One is Operation Second Chance, which helps military veterans, active duty and veterans that have served before, that are struggling with PTSD, depression, anxiety, general life problems, and giving them a lot of support materials. And then the Navy SEAL Foundation, which a lot of my brothers are Navy SEALs, and seen a lot of helping them transition back to life after they've been injured or they have PTSD or they're having family problems. So I've just seen so much good come out of these foundations. And I was like, how can I get involved? Where can you throw me in? What can I do to help benefit the team? I am a bike rider, but I'm like a Saturday morning, San Diego kind of bike rider. Like, I've been told I don't bike well with others because I do get really competitive and I like to win. But being able to be with these kind of personalities is the goal I set for myself, both in business and in the Navy and leadership. Is I just wanted to be around more people who have passionate influences, who strive for greatness in their life, no matter what they're doing or what phase they're in. I've just consistently been learning from those kind of people, and the kind of people that were on Ride Across America were some guys that were Paralympians. And, I admire those guys so much. A fellow EOD brother of mine, Brad Snyder, was blown up in Afghanistan while we were both at EOD Mobile Unit 12. We were both on the Navy swim team back at the Naval Academy. And he got blown up and he lost his eyesight. And it took a lot for me to go up and finally see him up at Bethesda. But when I did, I kind of walk in the room. It's like, hey, Brad, it's Brad. And, I give him like this little head massager thing. And he's like, oh, that is tantalizing. And then I'm like, dude, how are you doing? And he's like, bro, I'm amazing. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, really? And he was like, this whole blindness thing is open up a whole nother world of dating to me. Every one of these nurses sound beautiful. And I just started cracking up. So I knew inside he was still him, and my anxiety was coming from me. I kind of had like a survivor's guilt. The teams that had gone before me in Afghanistan, some of them got hurt, killed. After I went, some people got hurt and killed. So I felt very fortunate to come out alive and my team come out all healthy, but there was a persistent guilt there, and a lot of people don't understand that persistent guilt. So these foundations really work to help soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines through those kind of problems that a lot of people don't understand. And reintegration problems are really tough. And it's taken me a while after combat experiences to kind of retrain my brain for things like empathy, retrain my brain to slow down, to smell some roses, to enjoy where I'm at presently and not just train for what's next. But being with Paralympians like that, and then just extreme savage endurance athletes, I love being around them because they help dig into your own mentality and help you work on things that you're working with. And more often than not, when you're just in like a crappy situation with those people, and you see them smiling, it just gives you another burst of energy. And that's what I'm always looking for, is those kind of people, both in business and leadership in general.
Yeah. Did you find, I want to go back for a second. Did you find, like, in order for you to do your job or be deployed or do those things, you kind of cut a certain part of your feelings off, or you became more robotic. So then, like, we train everything in us is a muscle. Our brains are muscles. Our thoughts are muscles. You know, it's a constant evolution. We can stop them at any time from evolving. So when I was listening to you and you talked about empathy, is it that you kind of like almost like stopped your development of where you were and became more mission based instead of humanistic? I don't know if that makes sense to you. It makes complete sense.
Yeah, 100%. And it was like I had a lot of times I just had to stuff emotions down and just keep going. And coming to find out, like that's a lot of stuff I'm working on now is like how to be vulnerable, how to tell people I have problems, how to tell people I'm not doing well, or asking people for help, even if it's just like, hey, dude, I'm struggling with this one thing. Can you pray with me?
Right.
So those are some of the struggles where the military does really good at training you how to jump out of planes, dive underwater, defuse bombs, go into the scariest environments ever. It often doesn't teach you enough about coming out of that. Hey, how do you go back home? How do you have an uninterrupted date night with your significant other? How do you talk to your family members often? How do you think of other people first? Even if it's just like stopping to talk to your neighbor and ask, how are you doing? Because so many times we get dialed into being so mission focused, checklist, that sometimes we just don't stop and say, Danny, like, how are you doing?
Right.
Like, how are you feeling? I know you're going through this hard time the other week, like, following up, really caring about, how you are. And I think that's leadership development as it goes. Anyways, from when you're a junior officer, you're very mission focused. And then as you get along and get more mature in your leadership, you start to really care. You start to want to know your people's wives, their kids' names, their extended family's names. And so that's always been a challenge for me. But being around these kind of people that are on 1 mile, that are leaders in all sectors of life, and are taking on a very challenging event for a good cause really motivated me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you're trained for like black and white, right? But life is all the gray inside. Are those moments of, hey, how are you? Stopping to smell that. That's where life is here. And when we live, even like a CEO or even an athlete. I mean, I was a professional athlete, not like that. I was a ballerina, but that's athlete. I spent my whole 24 years developing gymnasts, international champions and collegiate gymnasts. So like I understand the mentality, but it's a very this is my like secret sauce. And what my brother and I had always done is that, yes, there's black and white because that is going to get you to the end line, right? But everything in between, that is actually going to give you to the success of your end line. So when we are trained just this way or that way, and I saw it with many different athletes, they're trained one way, and that's the only way. They're never taught, and they never learn all how to maneuver within that. So if they break something, they're devastated because they never learned how to cope with that gray area of life. And you said it perfectly with like the leadership. That part is what makes the good leaders, is when you can be black and white, but also listen and understand the gray that gets you there, and still being able to function in what you have to do in extreme circumstances, whether you are in the military or you are like a high level, elite athlete.
100%.
Oh dear, he froze on me. Oh, we just don't want to hear me talk. We want to hear Brad talk. Brad, move so that if you hear me, move so that you're in the Wi-Fi.
You there?
Okay, you're there. I'm like, move so you hit the Wi-Fi better. Shoot, I lost him. I hear you. He's going to come back. Oh, he's back. He'll come back on. Don't worry. So the cool thing I love about Brad, or one of the cool things that I love about Brad, is he's like here he is, his no nonsense personality. Oh, are you back?
Speaking of things disrupting life, Wi-Fi.
That is how it goes. But what I was telling the world when you popped off is one of the things I love about you is you're very like no nonsense, like, but at the same time you have this like sparkle, like this glittery passionate. Sorry, I use glitter with you. You're very manly, but glittery passionate inside of you. You can flip-flop between the two. It's like it's encompassing of you.
Well, thanks so much. It is definitely going from a lot of the training that we have, which is like, hey, you got to go down and take care of this bomb or the suicide vest. But then a second later, you need to be talking to a kid in that village and telling them, hey, everything's going to be okay. I just solved that problem, and then play soccer with them. So it's that winning hearts and minds that we had to learn so well when we were doing there that I've been trying to come back and evolve with a little bit more with charitable organizations. And just one of my passions is seeing, kids be developed and be successful, whether it's in church groups or at the elementary schools and help read to them, or the kids that I saw when I've been deployed. But the same thing from no matter where they're at, they just want to be played with, paid attention to, and have fun. And too many times we try to control the kids and all that stuff. And it's like, no, you don't need to control them. You need to engage their spirit. And so often or not, adults grow up to be unhappy because nobody's engaging their spirit anymore. Nobody's telling them they can still have fun. Nobody's telling them they can high five at work, right? Yeah. Nobody's telling you, I love busting into my office every morning and saying, how's the best team in the Navy? And like shocking them right off the bat. Sometimes it's fake, but it gets routine. And the more often you can show that energy and that passion, even sometimes if you have to fake it, the more it starts becoming part of your character. And more often than not, I have to use those kind of mechanisms to get over my own like down days or days that it's hard to get out of bed or days that I'm suffering from some sort of depression or anxiety. And then I feed off of other people like you on your energy as well. So if those one days where I have a little bit more, if I can just give a little bit more, and then hopefully in a day when I need it, somebody's got enough energy to share with me and help me get through those hard or dark times.
That is 100% the truth. Because this is like one of my like philosophies is, look, if you don't have the strength for today, you can borrow mine. But you damn well better be able to give me your strength on the day that I need it, right? Like those are the people that I like to have in my life. But we need to have that. And I love how you talk about as adults, do not give our, how did you say that? We don't give ourselves the ability to, shoot, I should have wrote it down.
Have fun. I mean,
you said a different word, but it's basically have fun in life. We are so like, we have to do this and we have to do that and we have to provide and we have to show up this way. And God forbid you can't do a lie, because if you mess up, the world's going to know you're not perfect. Well, guess what? just let it out there that you're not perfect to begin with, and we're okay.
I think some of the best comments I got back from the television show on Patrol Afghanistan were like, so many people commented, you and your team are so funny. And I'm like, we have to be. Like, there's no way to mentally or emotionally survive exploding ordnance, things that are trying to kill you, without instituting some kind of humor. And more often than not, like, there were many times we have to be on the radio and you have to send over serious information. Hey, this is what's going on, the 5 W's. And then we'll switch over to the team line and then like somebody will crack a fart joke or something like that. It's like, and it's still like childhood fun, but that's how humans in general deal with stress. And it doesn't change just because, we have to jump out of a plane at 25,000 feet in negative 76-degree weather through an ice cloud to go take out an enemy bad area. You're still cracking jokes to try and ease that tension beforehand. You're still giving each other a hard time. I definitely expect that out of Team 1 Mile on the ride across America with the personalities that we have. Some just good constant banter to keep it fun when it definitely gets tough. But that's one of the mental skills I think I learned from Leonidas in 300 in the movie and in the book, The Hot Gates, that, they're going up. He knows they're going on a suicide mission. They're going to die. But, they make jokes to each other, prodding each other. And then he definitely was prodding the enemy forces through sarcasm and wit. And it's one thing I've seen in most special operators is they have wit and they have the ability to both give it and receive it. And then be able to stay energetic through the worst of times. And I think that's what really makes a difference between special operators, high-end endurance athletes. Like, they're very serious about what they do. They're very serious about their mission. Really, nothing's going to get in their way, but they're going to have a good time doing it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what's the difference between just a regular athlete who's just going through the slog, or
Yeah.
a regular worker who's just going to get a paycheck every day, and then someone who's there to succeed no
Mm.
matter what. And I saw a guy at the airport when I was flying last year. This guy was like at a hamburger stand or something like that. He was probably in his late 60s, early 70s. He was giving so much energy to every one of the customers going out. He was doing everything he could to get drinks and napkins and everything out to those people and just do his one job just the best that he could. And I'm like, I want that guy on my team
Yeah.
because his spirit is what I could use.
Mm-hmm.
I could teach him other things. I could teach him real estate investing. I could teach him bomb defusal, but that spirit is what I really look for in teammates and people that I like to surround myself with. And that's also what Shackleton said when he was stuck on the iceberg. He left one guy back that was like the spirit, that had the esprit de corps while he went off to get help, because he knew that guy had the spirit and the positive mental attitude to get his guys through this tough situation.
And I think we can develop that, right? There are some people, they are born with that. It's innate in them, and it comes out. But then I also believe that you could say, this is what I want to be. This is how I want to come across. And you can develop that piece of
100%. 100%. And a quick sea story, as we say, when I was a freshman at the Naval Academy, they're called plebes, and it's a terrible year. Your head's shaved, you're running around everywhere. You can't look anybody in the eye. You don't have TV, you don't have music, you have no alone time. It's pretty miserable.
Mhm.
But I was on the varsity men's swim team, and the coaches brought in a sports psychologist. And I'm like, dude, what are we doing? This is like a waste of time. But he told us a story about this multi-day running race. And every year, this Australian farmer in Australia, had seen this race going by his house. And one day he told his wife, I'm going to do that race. And she's like, you're crazy. You don't even run. You don't work out that much. All you do for workouts, chasing chickens out by the farm. It's like, no, I'm going to do it. So he shows up at the starting line. He's got old pair of tennis shoes on, old shorts, raggedy t-shirt. Everybody else is showing up with Lycra socks and arm sleeves and these fancy water bottles and stuff like that. He ends up beating everybody by over 24 hours because he didn't know the truth. The truth was that you ran for 18 hours and that you rest for 6 hours. Ran 18, rest 6. And so he was able to just run straight and just didn't
Right.
stop. And the moral of the story that the psychologist told us is like, plebe year is supposed to suck, but you don't have to know that truth. You can change your mindset about that truth. And so he gave us an exercise that me and my roommate, who's a water polo player and now a Navy SEAL, and he's the executive officer at the BUDS training, the initial SEAL training. And so what he told us to do was wake up and say, today is going to be a great day 5 times. And we're both waking up at 4:30 in the morning to get to our swim practice or our water polo practice.
Yeah.
It's cold in Annapolis in a blizzard. And we start waking up every day and say, today's going to be a great day. And then he'd say, today's going to be a great day. I'd say, today's going to be a great day. And then he's like, today's going to be a great day. And we would just explode. And so at the end of one semester, we get peer reviews. So that the semester before we got this psychological tool, we're at the very bottom of our company, like number 39 and 40 for like military presence and military bearing and all this stuff. So the
I
peer
can't
reviews
even
like kicked
imagine,
us.
Brad. You're
And
you're
then one
ruining my perfect
semester,
vision of you.
then one semester later, we were at the top of that company for peer reviews just by changing that one simple thing in our life to say, today's going to be a great day. And we said it whether it was going to be a great day or not. And even when we were having crappy days, we would just look to each other and remind each other, today's going to be a great day. And then sometimes I'll be having a crappy day and I'll just text him and he's like, today's going to be a great day. Or I'll be having a crappy day and then all of a sudden his text message will come in and it's like, today's going to be a great day. And it just reminds each other that we can kind of get through anything with the right mental focus. And that's just a tiny little tool, changed my entire life.
Yeah. It created, it's easy. Like we can have these like triggers, negative triggers, and we can also have positive triggers. You created a trigger that just, that works, that you could just think of it. He could just text you and all of a sudden you have that emotional response of laughing about it. I love that. I love that story. Every day I wake up and I'm like, well, what is my day going to be like today? Like, not like, I have to do this, and this call and that. It's like, I get excited about clothes, right? I like clothes. So like they make me feel so. How am I going to feel today? Oh, okay. I'm going to express it in the way I'm dressing, right? How, am I going to I talk myself into how I want to be all day, even if I know I have to have a terrible meeting or a terrible call. So you just gave me proof that my strategy does work. So I'm going to keep doing
it. 100% of the time.
You have won it over. So I'm excited. I'm super excited to be doing our whole race. It's in June. People follow the 1 mile. Follow the what is it like? They have a YouTube page or
there's Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram,
podcasts,
pretty much podcasts. Everything's going on right now.
Everything,
for sure.
Yeah. You can get totally inspired by cool people like Brad, different stories, and eventually you'll be able to see. There'll be a documentary and see this whole. I think we're gonna have to do some behind the scenes because they're the cool people that get the cool van, and I say this all the time. I'm the crap person that gets the crap video van. I'm gonna be so sneaking in there and being like, you guys suck. I'm gonna hijack it.
I'll come hang out in your van with you.
Okay,
we'll have fun.
Good. Well, thank you.
We'll be high-fiving each other at 4:00 in the morning, whether anybody else is doing it or not.
You're right. There we go. It's a deal. We're in. But before I let you go and you finish all the amazing things that you do, but FYI, guys, pay attention to Brad because he does multiple things passive income. I love how you said that about passive income because that is one of the things that so many people struggle with is I'm getting totally off sidetrack, but I want to make this point. Finances suck. People fight about it in their marriage. They feel like it consumes who they are. They don't know how to get out of their own way. So I love that you have developed this. You create it as an importance in your life. And then you're willing to share it with people. I love that.
Yeah, 100%. That was kind of developed through one of my business partners. He was having a hard time raising money for a mission trip. And whenever you're asking for charity donations, people will nickel and dime you left and right. Mm-hmm. But if you can set up a mechanism that provides passive income, and that's what we do at the Growth VUE is we just, real estate's just the way. It's just a mechanism for us to be able to carve off a piece of that, put it into an endowment, and then that endowment pays charities that we're passionate about. And then that, on top of that, just my personal income that I get from that, 50% of that's going to go to missionaries working in West Africa because it's just something I'm passionate about and I've seen it with my eyes and I've felt it. And it's somewhere I want to go. So a lot of times the old saying still stands true, put your money where your mouth is, or put your billfold where you want to be. So I'm paying ahead of that to set up people that are really out there making an impact. They're in uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable places, and they're depending on somebody else's fiscal support. Now, one of the things is most missionaries are great at preaching the gospel or telling the word. They're terrible at raising money. I love raising money. I love raising capital, and I love doing it for a good reason and for good people with smart investors that want to make an impact in the world. But they're so busy doing other things, being doctors, lawyers, developers, whatever else their business is. They're so busy. They don't have time, or they don't know how to have the knowledge, or they don't have the services to be able to give back. All of them want to, and they feel better when they do because a lot of people get to that high earning level and they're rich, but they're not happy. They're like, how can I help? Because that makes me happy. Mm-hmm. And so that's really what we focus on. And that's given me just so much energy and so much spirit to go out and just continue to do more whenever I can.
Yeah. Use your gifts. You're using your gifts to better the world. That's what you're supposed to do with them. You're not supposed to use your gifts to keep them to yourself and make your pockets bigger. That creates misery. So you're actually doing what God put us here on earth to do. So again, another putting your money where your mouth is, another lesson coming to fruition through Brad. So many of these today. If I had little speeds, sparkling angels, that would have gone off. I need a button for that.
Thank you.
Just for that. But now, for real, before, I'm not going to get sidetracked again, before I let you go, this is my last question, and answer it with whatever the first thing that comes to your heart. Don't read into it too much. In this moment right now, Brad, what does love mean to you?
Love means serving others.
Yeah. Yep. I couldn't have picked a better, if I had to guess, like a multiple, A, B, C, D, what is Brad gonna say? That would probably be what I picked. You summed yourself up right into a nice little heart. Thank you, Brad, for sharing who you are and love it. I'm so glad that we have met and we are connected and we are part of this 1 mile team together. And I can't wait to follow your everything you do besides just the 1 mile, just everything. And now I know you're not on vacation every weekend. I mean,
Thanks, Danny. I appreciate the time and your energy as always.
yeah. And I will see you next time. And everybody else out there, remember, love hard, love pure, and love proactive. Until next time, bye-bye.